Good evening, everyone. Good evening, big bearded beast. Bright and early to the channel. Let me just move my heater. I've been drying a base, so I had to have the heater on. There we go. So, how is everyone this fine evening? It's horrible outside. Ugh. I've just had to go out and sort some printers out. Good evening, Mark. How is you? And Martin? I've been doing bits of painting today, so hello, Smog Monster. I'm trying to think where we're at. That, and that. So I'm going to jump straight into the painting. People can catch up when they get here. Building models watching me. It's what I normally do. I'll normally put someone like Martin on and sit and watch or listen. And so I got a bit more of the giant done yesterday. The base is pretty much down. I've got the shoulder plates on. The trees starting to come along nicely, and that looks very blurred because it's so high. So he's coming along nicely. I've got the basing to finish, some dry brushing to do, but he's not far off, and that'll be the second complete unit for a game that I've done in a long time. The dragon, he is nice and set now. He was a bit squishy. So should we have a look who's top of the list at the moment? So we have X-Wing Tavern Wars, Ulfric, Doom Fairies, Ash and Archnin all in the giveaway for this fella tonight at the moment. There's a couple of people down below that might be able to move up, but we've got X-Wing Tavern Wars is on 40, Ulfric is on 35, Doom Fairies 30, Ash 25, Archnin 15, and then there's Cleese, Shenanigans and King out underneath. That's all I can see at the moment. The rest I can't actually see. So we've been working on the base. If you can't tell, I've got the water effect down because that does take a while to dry, and I got the rocks done this afternoon. I know I normally don't do bits and pieces while off air, but I remembered how long it took this blue water to go off. So it's Atlantic Blue by Vallejo, and it goes on rippled. You just splodge it on and it goes on quite thick, and it gives the effect of waves. So what I've got after that is some foam, sea foam by Vallejo. Sticky all over my hands, can't get it. Where's the end of that? There it is. And then I can seal it in with the water effect. So we have the base there. So the next thing to go down is the foam. It basically brushes across there, and that should go off. And then I've got a tub of the diorama water effects to go over it. Bit of a wash to that first, which I'll do now while I remember. So jobs on the boards for tonight is Dragon to finish, or to get somewhere near, Kingpin to finish, he's not far off, and the base for this one to do. If I have time, I can do a couple of bits on the giant. If he actually I don't think he's going to be in a position to be dry enough, so I'm going to do a couple of things. I wonder if I've got any lamium and some wash. So lamium medium and Nulling oil. So a lot of you will know I pre-mix a lot of my washes to thin them down. So as you can see, there's little or nothing left in there. So what I will do is shake the lamium and shake the nulling up. Hey Tomo, how are you doing? I missed you there, sorry. So half a pot of lamium. Half a pot of Agrax on the there you go, and that's that done. And what I then do is do the other ones. So I have got a that's pure lamium, that's pure. So if we put pure in there, in fact, let's do this the other way around. So a brand new pot. So in the recycle bin. Good evening, Ash. Good evening, Doom Fairies. I need some more nulling. So you've just caught me supplying my nulling. I have actually run out of some of my percentage nullins. So I've got a full pot of that, and I need the 25%. Must be out somewhere. There he is. So that's a new pot. So it's half a pot, so I need an eighth. So about that. Just shake that and see if, yeah, that's very thin, so that will go into that one. It's like chemistry. Hiya Dale. There's another pot used, and full pot. I have my my nulling line up again, and a full brand new pot. So I need my 50/50 in its non-knock you over bull thing. Let's get a quick wash across the rocks to get the feel of the rocks in. I'm trying not to get any too. Oh no, I do. I want it around the edge. Sorry. It'll give it a bit of definition across the water. Yeah, the water effect's just one of the Vallejo pots. It's really easy to use. We've used it a few times on the stream. It's, I can't remember which one this one is. It is Atlantic Blue. There's a few different. They do a few different colours for different different seas, sort of thing. So there we go. That's gives the rockets more of a depth to it. So what we can do on this is we have Vallejo foam effect. It is just I'd say I could show you, but I've got a feeling I only have the one. think there's like Mediterranean, Atlantic and Pacific, and they're just different shades of blue. They're all the same thing, but they're just, because these are for scale modelers, the people who do the tanks and stuff like that, they can be quite particular over the colour matches. So things like, we get the brown thick earth, which is shown on the bottoms of tracks, but I'm almost certain that we get things like is that one of them? Black asphalt. We get some that's basically, say, European mud, so it's the consistency of mud that looks like thank you very much, Ash. Yeah, it's very matched to what they want, sort of thing. And there's a lot of beardy people, black thick mud. So I've just gone for all of the normal colours, but there's European, there's Russian, there's a few different actual colour ones. Oh, sorry, my washes. Yes, the washes are pure Nullin, which is the stuff that you get in the pot, which is the one without the label on the cross on the top. The one with the single cross on the top that I do is half Nullin, half Lamium, so that goes on a lot thinner, and it just yeah, they do. And that goes on reasonably thinner, and then I've got 75% Lamium, which is very, very thin, and that's good for recess washes like I did on Kingpin. It just doesn't stain as much, so if you want a good strong colour, then you use one of the thicker ones. If you want something that you've got more control over and you can build up, and maybe do 2 or 3 washes, you use the the ones with more Lamium in. But you guys could mix that on your palette anyway, rather than that, having pots of it. I just do it for speed because I like to be able to go grab, that sort of thing. Good evening, Cotton. Right. So, yes, the next one is Form Effect. Now, Form Effect is a weird one. You can see it there. It just looks like, well, you can't see it there. It just looks like white paint, but it goes on quite thin. So I tend to do it like a bit of a dry brush, so it only hits the tops. The brush is quite high, quite loaded as well, so when it hits the tops it takes quite a bit off. Try not to hit the black light because that's still wet. So where you've got a lot of the big bits of blue and some big built up rocks, you can do a bit more, sort of thing. So if you get the basics down, it's quite quick just to spin it around in your fingers and pick up any of the big bits, and then you can actually stipple some of it, find some of the big bits. The bit, well, I mean the big bits of blue where it's raised. And it just looks like it's bubbling and frothing like the sea does. There we go. So it doesn't look massively other than a dry brushed white, but it just a weird way it goes on. It just feels, if you can see that, so you've got waves and crashing pools, and the black wash gives the effect of a little bit of a pool appearing. Good evening, Jack. Oh, cool. I'll have a look in a second, mate. Oh, cool. Be nice to see that when it's painted, or as you're painting it. So I'm going to let that go dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to use the still water over the top of it. As I say, all of these we sell. We've got plenty of them in stock. I've got the dragon to do with the airbrush. A bit of copper and a bit of brass onto it. I'm thinking of Tomo's favourite brass. Ooh, I definitely want to see these tanks, mate. Is it remote controlled yet? I want to see it remote controlled, mate. Good evening, X-Wing Tavmores. It is the brassy brass. I might do the eyes. If I don't know, the eyes. I might put Tesseract in the eyes. So I'm wanting the copper as the bright colour from above. So underneath I'm going to do some of the brassy brass. Oh, excuse me. Hellsnare. Yeah, Fury was... I really enjoyed doing Fury. So I'm going to do the chest pieces in... Let's go... There you go. So there's not a massive difference, but you can just see it tints it. And then when we get some washes in there and some dry brushes, you'll be able to see the two different colours massively. Well, that's the hope anyway. It gives the body a bit of a two-tone feel. I'm going to get the leg plates as well. Build up on the tip. good thing with these, they're very rubbery. The D&D miniatures. So it is going to get a wash, but what I would like to do is get the bone structure as well in the brass, just to give it a bit of a different colour. See that, and then the wash will go in between it all. Same on the outside. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry. Oh yeah, I forgot about the headphone users. At least it wakes people up. So, done the top of the head in the brassy brass as well. Give the airbrush a bit of a clean. A good clean this one. There we go. And there is a cap for the airbrush. I seem to have lost him. Oh, there it is. There we go. So that's the brassy brass. Now, with it being... Ooh. Get it all over the place. Now, I normally just use water, but then I push that through it, airbrush cleaner. That cleans anything out of it. As long as you get it out quite quick, it doesn't damage the seals either. So put that through, blast it through, put some water in, and you're good to go. So yes, there's two colours you can do to give it a good golden colour. I would suggest Reichland, or if you want it a more subdued colour, more dragony, I'd go with Agrax. So I'm going to go with my 50/50 Agrax today. Might use some of that through the airbrush later. I did have a wash brush. There's my wash brush. I'll leave that 2 minutes. So you sit there, don't spill yourself. Just waiting for that to dry off, but we do have a couple of bits to do on this fella. Yes, it does. I didn't think of that actually. I've got another copper dragon to do for myself. I might do it on that. So this is the 50/50 null-in wash, and I'm just doing the ground. It just fills all the gaps of the cracked pavements and the guttering sort of thing. So the grey that I always use for the base is dark sea grey model colour. It's a great concrete colour. I've always used that one. It is my go-to concrete. But what I'm also going to do is, with a shade brush, he says, hopefully, is the shoes we did in the grey. If I can get the wash just like that, we get shaded black shoes, which look pretty cool. And doing them at the same time blends it all in nicely. Purple pants. How do you think they would go with a black wash? Verdigris. I was thinking of verdigrising it. I've even got it down somewhere. Yeah, let's. Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I have, but I know how badly the purple stains, so I'll use my 50/50. And that should. And I can, if it comes to it and it has darkened it too much, I can just give it a quick dry brush. I have a feeling I may sell this one because seeing someone, hey, Russell, that pops by now and again in here, he's done one today in grey that I've seen, which I really liked. And then I thought about doing a reverse one, doing him in an entire Druki Eye Violet. Thinking of going down the route of doing a black one with edge highlighting and that sort of stuff for myself, having him in a black suit with gold buttons and maybe a white shirt, have the white shirt showing through. Or I might just keep this one. Still need to do this. This isn't done yet, but this is a bit of a close-up of him. I think you can, when I get him down here, you can actually see him. I've just noticed a bit of white that's missed its wash off. I'm not sure what's happened there. Might have to put some white on it. There we go. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Even I'm happy, which is not a usual thing. Need a bit of Reichland. I've just noticed his eye isn't fully washed. I missed a bit of wash yesterday. That's why I was wondering why it wasn't coming off that easy. There we go. That's better. I picked the wrong brush up. There we go. So, put him to one side, let him dry off a little bit. Dragon is dry. Dragon won't be dry for much longer. So, as I said, this is just 50% Agrax. The other thing that this does is mats off the shine as well, which is pretty good. So I am being quite liberal with it because I can go back in and clean some of the bits up where I need to. And he will drip dry, so some of this will just drip away. But it means all of the little pools will get really, really well shaded. And while I'm doing this, what would people like to see for next month's monthly giveaway? The Hulk. Haven't you just done a Hulk, Ash? I have a couple of Hulks already painted. I do enjoy doing them. And I know Ash has just painted one as well. It looks class. Tanks, a Hydra. Just need Kingpin. Just waiting for a big white suit to turn up. So if the worst comes to worst and I don't get him finished, I will put pictures up before sending him out to the winner on Facebook and on Discord. So that is the wash done, or part of the washing done. There's going to be more, probably through the or if you're about after as well, Ash, I may need you to pop into World of Tanks later on, but I'll catch you after the stream. So that's dry. What I'll quickly do is dry brush, and where is Long-Bearded Grit? So a quick dry brush of Long-Bearded Grit. Everyone's seen me dry brushing. I don't need to show you on the cloth what I'm doing. So it is still wet in the absolute recesses, but I don't want to hit the recesses, so and again the rocks just come alive. 2 seconds. It's a good job I'm not actually using it tonight. Thanks for the heads up. Under the blue, it's actually the Vallejo water texture, Atlantic blue. So you can basically, it's splodgeable, so it builds up waves and stuff like that. It's really good stuff. There's 3 bits that I use for doing water texture. And it's all Vallejo stuff. I'll just do this last bits of the rocks. I want to put some tufts into the rocks and stuff like that a bit later on, so you get the idea of the rocks. Done. So the water texture is basically Atlantic blue, then foam effect, and then the bit that I'm going to do now, which is actual really, it's clear water effect, translucent. He says not being able to. It's childproof. I did a couple of dragons a couple of months back with it all, and it worked really nicely. Part commission and part one for myself. It's like real water, but not, because it doesn't flow off here. But it does go on quite thick. So that's why I've left it to last, because it could take a while to go off if I remember rightly. And I have put it on fairly thick as well, so it's always but then that just ties it all together, and you can see the glossy. Is that jelly? Jelly. It's inconsistency. It's not far off it. So it gets. So what I'm doing now is a little bit round the edges, as if bits have been splashed, and So if you've clipped the blue like I have there, if you just cover it in the gloss or the water effect, it looks as though the water's gone up there and it's still splashing around. There we go. Can someone try the points again? I'll leave it off for a second and see if it comes back. That could be. There we go. If that doesn't work, it's broke again. Well, that purple is nice. I'll have a look through the gallery in a sec because there's a few on there that I want to have a look at. I'm not sure which purple it is. What purple was it, Matt? That's really nice. I know you put it somewhere. Anyway, that's the water and that's the base done. I'll get some little bits of Purple Eater from Turbo Dog. I know someone in the UK that just started to stock that as well. Might have to have a look. So again, that's still not dried. The purple trousers have gone really nice now. I do like that. So I'm going to do a bit of work on his face. Where's my super binoculars? Right, I needed the Reichland to do the gold. So the points don't matter for tonight because we're going to do it off a dice roll anyway. Once I've got it on the screen in front of me, I can... it worked out a lot easier than having to print it all out, and then I can just do it on a dice roll, 1 to 5. Anyone that's if I roll a 6, we just re-roll, or I get to keep it on a 6. So on the ring, I'm really loving these handles. I've got to admit, they're probably the best handles on the market at the moment. Just being able to move stuff around, move it around like that. Right, what I'm going to do is the smallest amount of colour on his skin, but I'm not going to really thin it down. So this is Kislev Flesh Air Paint. And before anyone says, yes, I did mess up and miss a huge bit of mould line on his head. So this is Kislev Flesh Air, watered down, so I'm just wanting to pick up things like the cheekbones, and it does feel like you're just putting water onto it. It's nothing, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything massive to it. And then it dries and you get some really good highlights. You can do the same down his fingers. So where the wash has settled, it gives you a guide to where the layer wants to be. Ash, when talking to Ash earlier, and he uses a very similar technique to when he was doing the Hulk, what he would do is he would put the colour on, then he would dry brush the next level up. But once he dry brushed, the dry brush showed him where to paint the layer, so he would do a layer then, and then he would dry brush the next colour up and then go for another layer from that. He was using dry brushing to basically work out where needed the layer paint. Sorry. He does look blurry. You are quite right. Yeah, why is it doing that? Come on, Giant, you're up. Let's use yours. You've got the big... See, the camera's probably using the big painting one to... Is that any better? Yeah, the thing is I do move my things around quite a bit, so sometimes it moves on the screen a bit. So I'm not going to go massive detail on the face. It's got the lines where I want it. It's got the shadows where I want it. The next one I do, I've just noticed he has a horrible little... I need to see if I can blend that so you don't see it. He's got a horrible little... Again, it's tiny and you can't see it, but once you've seen it, there's no turning back. Like a mould line under his ear. This side doesn't have it. There we go. For some reason he's got some scratches on his head as well. Let's see if I can blend the scratches in. What is it with these models and scratches? I've painted Tomos for him, well, primed Tomos for him today. I've ended up scratching them as well. There we go. So a little bit more in the knuckles here. There we go. The purple looks cool. Because the purple was over the white, it's acted like a a bit of a bit like contrast, really. Yeah, I'm quite happy with him like that. Yeah, we've got loads on the table at the moment, Jamie. There's, at the moment, I have a Spider-Man to be doing. These are for Foxy, who's normally in the stream. Right, I'll just put some glue on that so it sticks down. He says looking for his glue and his glue's vanished. If that child's had it again... I know where she lives. I'll get her. So yeah, I'm doing a couple of bits of work for Foxy, who helps us on the stream. So I have a Spider-Man part done. I have my Ebony Moore that we started on the stream part done. Yeah, I've got the 4 here to do and get them, because there's all of the Spideys on here to do for him. And then Ghost. Yeah, part of owning the shop is every time one of the sets has come out, I may have ordered them and had my own. So there is Mr. Kingpin. So the next part's going to be the base. Let's have a look. Is it dry? It is dry. So a dry brush. I have noticed that my usual dry brush has gone hard, so I need to get a new one. So I'm going to use Dawnstone. And then probably Praxi White to get the final colour done. So again, just one of our dry brushes. Some light scrubbing across the surface. It brings the colour back to what it was before we covered it in Nuln Oil. it also brings out the pot marks and stuff. I'm going to try this one last time. I need the new Longbeard grey, I think. So I haven't cleaned the dry brush. It's got the grey on, and it's got the Dawnstone on, and this, so it does a bit of both. There we go. It's quite strong. You see how the concrete goes at the front there. We've done videos on these bases before, but you've got your concrete, your patches, you got your different colours. You could even, if you wanted, put some a green wash, something like that, onto the to put moss onto it, sort of thing. We're going to actually put moss onto it. What time is it? Oh, it's only 8 o'clock. Cool. Just take your time, Tomo. It's not. Just chill out, relax. Right, let's have some of these pots before I start spilling them. Albeit 2 of them were dries. So going back to brassy brass. Not in the airbrush this time. 2 drops onto the palette. Basing brush. I'll use the Fugazi. So what I'm aiming for here is the sign. Orange is a weird one. You tend to have to add yellows till you can get the colour that you want. So this, I think this is really cool. It's a sign for the attorneys at law for not Bullseye. Yeah. The blind one. I can never remember his bloody name. Yeah, Nelson and Murdoch. I'm trying to think of his. Daredevil. That was the one. Why don't you keep calling him Deadpool? So me and Ronan were watching Deadpool yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Yesterday. And I had an epiphany moment at the end of it, and Ronan hadn't realised it either. But what are they all fighting on at the end that falls over and causes a big dent in the floor? Yeah. How many people are now scrabbling to see the end section of Deadpool? Yes, Mark, exactly. It isn't a helicarrier. So if I can get this up into that gap there, I'll be happy. There we go. Don't need to be too worried about getting it on the white bits in there, because I am verdigris in this. At the same time I do the dragon. There we go. So there's a couple of ways that you can... Hey Paul, how are you doing? Thank you for the sub, Jack. That's very much appreciated. I have two usual options for verdigris. One is my Vallejo one, which I know for a fact I used it up all on the scenery I did for beanies. So I'm going to use Lilac Oxide, which is GW's version. They're pretty much part and parcel the same thing, really. So it goes on a bit like a wash. The only difference is I need an oldish brush, one of my old. I don't. Can you? Yeah, you can see that just. So when you do it, the way I tend to do it is I just cover it in it. Cover the verdigris all over. Rub it in just like you would rub a wash in. Yes, but it's in the garage, Tomo. And I've not redone myself a pack yet. So once you've done the verdigris like in there, just take a cotton bud and just rub it over the top, and you get the effect of not everywhere being covered in verdigris. And then what you can do is bits of copper that you, or the brass where you want it strong, you just quickly there you go. Right, you can't really see it that much. What I am going to do is there any... Yeah, I'm going to make a bit of a metallic wash just quickly on the palette there, because it's pooled around his foot. There we go. I didn't want it pooling around his foot, because it wouldn't, his foot wouldn't have been there long enough for the verdigris to build up. So them ones. He's practically done. Just need a bit of black. I had my reading glasses on. There we go. So just going around the edge of the rim. can't even remember how much this fella is at full normal price. There you go. Around 25. I might sell him and grab another one and do one in black. See how I can do a black suit. Maybe black top, purple pants. See if I can get some of that turbo dark purple. 20 quid. Yeah, about that. I know I do have them in stock to paint, so I'll stick this one up for sale and maybe just grab a couple to paint, because they're fun to paint. As you've seen, they've been fairly quick, so it's like a 20-25 pound paint job if I do 4 of them at once, or I could do different colours as we're on about. And then, this is the stuff I was on about with Ash. This is Tiny Tufts by Gamer's Grass. Again, something we stock. He looked for the PVA glue. So the good thing that you can do with this Tiny Tuft is, as they are tiny, they do look like moss. I think this is dark moss as well. You pluck one off, tiny amount of PVA on, and then you look for the cracks in rocks and stuff. So that crack there, let's just drop a bit of tuft in, and you've got a little bit of grass behind a rock. Now I'm not going to do it on near the sign, because the sign looks as though it's been pulled off and stamped on by him, so technically it wouldn't be there. So what you're looking at is places where seeds, grass seeds, would blow, like in the T of the concrete, where the crack in the concrete is, that sort of stuff. And you only need a couple of bits. That's why this pad's so good, because there's probably 100 blooming, well, probably more than 100 figures worth of tufts in there. So a couple of little tufts at the back, and he's, as they say, ready to rock and roll. So Mr. Kingpin to the back for now. The dragon is still wet. I'm going to have to clean some of that off. Just remove some of the pooling. I say, if this fella isn't finished, he will be by the time he's sent out, I promise. You can only just see the changes in the colours, so I am going to use the Reichland technique to put a bit more colour into his wings. So we're going to use the Necron Compound dry brush and a new piece of that. There we go. So on the top, you can see the edges of the wings being picked up now. Do the same. bit too much on the brush. I'll have to clean that. Yeah, he is still quite dribbly at the moment, so I'm just doing the really tips of the So what I would like, I'm just weighing up two ways to do it. I can do gold dry brushing to bring out of his body, or I can use the silver on the dry brush and then go in with the airbrush with the shades in them. Try some of the shades before I do that. Yeah. So I'm going to use Reichland to give it a bit of a golden shimmer. Oh, wow. So Reichland wash in a bowl. Wash in a bottle. So the thing to do, or the thing you can do while airbrushing washes, is they can go on practically dry. So you can see that. It also goes on clear, so any of the shading that you've done underneath really picks up. So you're now getting the three colours on the wings. But I also want to hold something where I'm not going to get it. Go. Fingers in the water because it's good evening snowy. So yeah, I've got the shades done on him. Where else would be? I'm going to probably do that again, just at the bases on there. Yeah. because the wash is bringing out the copper really strongly. So I think I do love doing the washes through the airbrush. So yeah, I can see you over there playing. If you're wondering, I needed to do a bit on the base with the wash, so rather than waste it, I've just used it up on the base of that. I need to get the gold on it now. Yes, the room I'm in is full of dust anyway. It's just the way it is. I've come to live with it. I go through keyboards somewhat rotten. I'm onto a new keyboard at the moment to actually stop the problems of keys sticking down. So what I'm going to do is look for the gold. Is that the gold? So I've got gold, and I think the gold will be the one to use. Yeah. So the funny thing is, when you use Retributor gold as a dry brush, it goes very bronzy and brassy. So I'm using a big old dry brush for this because I'm going down his chest plate. But again, it's just brightening it. It's not changing the colour. It's just giving the armour plates a bit of a boost. Good evening, Kinget. I'm finishing off a dragon, if you can't tell. So the chest, you can actually see the gold on the... It's a lot brighter than there. So it is... it does just feel like it's coppered. But it is just metallics everywhere on this. It looks class. The metallics merging into one another. There we got the bit, because at the moment I don't think you can. Yeah, you can see that now. So the tips of the silvering, the gold, and then the copper in all of the inlays. And you've got the brass running through the back, and then he has a very coppery front, a very brass front, should I say. think I also need to let it dry off a lot more than it is now. Clean the brush. So there's also a Rune Lord brass that's a base colour. What game does the dragon come from? Sorry, I do miss a lot of the questions coming over from YouTube. I do apologise. It is just it's a D&D dragons, one of the pre-primed ones that you get that you can just paint up. So I need it to be dry, but the bits that are going to be dry I don't need. There we go. Uh-oh. Where does that put Kinger in the leaderboard? What time is it? 7 minutes left. I'm going to have a look, aren't I? So it's here somewhere. There it is. Refresh. So the leaderboard at the moment is X-Wing Tavern Wars at £40. If people are wondering why that's the way around, he's done a £10 donation and it's not picked up in his main account for some reason. Then we have Ulfric on 35, Doom Fairies on 30, Ash Eden Painting on 25, and Kinger has just snuck in there, knocked Archnin down, and is in 5th place. And Ulfric is now £1 in front. I think it takes a few seconds for it to catch up. We have 6 minutes left in the top 5. So Ulfric at 41, Tavern Wars at 40, Doom Fairies at 30, Ash Eden at 25, and Kinger at 20. Now, while you're all playing with that, it's Nylock time. So now I'm going to use a cloth, not just a cotton bud for this. You won the last one though, didn't you? So all of his lower armour plate that's copper, I'm giving a verdigris coat to, because the upside of his plate is going to see daylight and stuff like that, so it's not going to get as much verdigris. So I just want a small amount. There we go. Cool. So it is just on the plate, all the metal plate down here. Cool. I've got his face to do, I've got his claws to do in proper claw colours, but at the minute that is the dragon coming along. He needs his tongue doing, and as I say, claws need to be done, tongue needs to be done. The eyes, if I can actually see the eyes, I will put them yeah. Was it a ship that you won last time? So a little bit of Ulthan Grey. I'm going, a little bit of it all over my hands. I'm going to try and get his eyes with Ulthan Grey to give them a bit of life. So that. Yes, possibly. What was last month's giveaway? Was it the ship? And I've got mixed up. So, as I said, giving into peer pressure, and we've there, and the tie. Ulfric got the Desi from the sealed bids. So it is past, and we have our top 5. Let me just do some and that. The clone ship. Can't remember now. So our top 5 are yeah. We have, that's our top 5 in order. I believe that's correct. So there was Archnane Shenanigans below. For some reason this isn't mixing. Shows you how long since I've used Tesseract. It's all gone hard and all of the agitators have stuck to the bottom. I have to get some Tesseract jobs on the go. Who wants to commission me a Tesseract job? Come on. Well, if people pay me, then I'll use it all day long. There we go. I could do a Tesseract Baby Yoda. Right. I'll do the eye on this and then I will there you go, you got your Tesseract green eyes, evil eyes. So I think, as I said, there is claws and some bits and pieces like that to do. Once they're done, he is pretty much ready to go to his new owner. I can never get this in. There we go. Right, I am going to turn around and look for something for a second, because I may have forgot something totally that I need to do the giveaway. I'm not now scurrying around looking for a dice or anything, honest. I can't find a dice in here. I want shooting. Aha! We have a dice. 6. So the numbers are on the right. We have 1 to 5. 1 being Ulfric, 2 being Tavern Wars. Dice try. I hope you mean dice tray. I haven't got anything to dice tray into. So yeah, 1 to 5. Ulfric being number 1. Tavern Wars 2. Doom Fairies 3. Ash 4. Kinger 5. Lee Dalton 6. And drop stuff onto the floor. No, because that's going to... You know, I had loads of boxes laid around. You would think I have a dice tray or something similar laid around that I could use. Aha! 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 Yeah, I know it was a pun, but I know for a fact if I roll it, it's going to go bouncing around the table. So, yeah, it's a lid of broken toad brushes. So, just check it is a 6-sided normal dice. It is a 6-sided normal dice. So, good luck, everyone. And we're about to roll the dice. So, I'm going to try and do it like Vegas. Weighted on a 6. Well, if I win, I win. What can I say? We have 4. Mr. Ash Eden. Ash Eden painting. Well done, Ash, on winning the monthly stream. Well done, mate. You can come and collect it rather than me posting it out as well, because we're still not in lockdown-ish yet, much. So yeah, well done, Ash. I will get him finished, maybe one day. Or I could just spray them all white and then just tesseract him for you. So yeah, I'll get a couple of bits finished off. I need to do the teeth, I need to do the tongue, I need to do the problem is it's still wet and I'm starting to put fingerprints on it, so I'm going to leave them to one side. Same with our friend here. Yeah, that could be punishment. Tesseract it. By the time Ash comes and picks it up, it suddenly turns to Tesseract green. Yeah. A special Saturday. I was thinking about doing a sales stream on Saturday at 7 o'clock. I had a word with James today and he's not doing his this week. So would people be interested in a ProTech live sale? It's been nearly a month since I had the no, I'm going to do one of the game ones as well. So the card pulls will probably be X-Wing, but there'll be the random stuff on the wall. Next X-Wing release on Friday. What's released on Friday? Not a 24-hour stream. Still haven't recovered from the last one. Yeah, I've got a couple of the new ships and stuff behind us. We got them in this week. No, Martin. No, the pair of you. $12-hour marble. Yeah. ETA 2's not out yet over here. We've not had him. So what I need to do before I make an absolute pig's ear of why do I keep going to call him Mr. Fisk? Was he called? Who's Fisk? So I've attached him to my painting stick. I use this for priming and stuff like that. Wilson Fisk, yeah. Hey, I'm not up on all of these superhero things. So yeah, I'm just using my tester's dull coat to seal it. And I don't think his name's on the box. But then it would mean me reading Ash. Yes, it's the first words on the box. Smart ass. So anyway. Lovely smelling. Yeah. Me and you are going to have words. So, which coloured Tesseract do you want? See, it's not my dragon. It's very nice smelling paint, that one. Yeah. So, Ash, how would you like your green dragon? Green dragon. Well, he's got the green eyes. The green eyes do look quite cute in him. So there you go. And there's the verdigris, how it comes out. But just on the underscales. And the base, I need some basing material in the base. And the base is done. I hope you're happy with it, Ash. I do enjoy doing the dragons, and I do enjoy... Wow, that is strong. I do enjoy doing the monthly giveaways. They seem to be a bit of a fun thing. I'll discuss later. Get a bit of. I've still got. I've just realised it's only 22, so. I can do a bit of his tongue. Yeah. The tongue and the claws. The claws. So my normal claw colour. This is claws. Where's my claw colour? Ah, it's up here, isn't it? There it is. So it is bone white. Obviously, bone white claws. Yeah. And then Seraphim Sepia wash on it. So I'm only doing the last claw section. These have got like 5 layered or 5 pronged claws. So what would people like to see next month, in all serious? And because basically I've got the money that is have all put in this month, and I'll literally go and buy the stuff for next month with that. That's what I'm doing at the moment. Fingy claws. All the fingy claws. I'll do the teeth in the same as well. There we go. Teeth are absolutely tiny on this. Or the little thing that goes with it. There's the teeth, tongue, eyes look class. Even if I do say so myself. And sepia wash. Come on, right, he's done. Did I have the sepia out? Nope. A tank with a Santa hat. So the sepia gives a great look to bone, especially for things like claws and stuff like that. It does make it look very real, especially if you go back just a little bit into the actual claw itself. It merges it a lot nicer. So if you can see that a bit, there we go. And then teeth. A bit round the jaw. There we go. Right, you sit there and dry on your pedestal. So, a bit of a recap of what we've managed to get done tonight. So we've got the dragon done and given away. A few little tufts to go back onto him. A whole workstation there's an absolute mess. Kingpin is finished, even though I did scratch him by the looks of it. Oh, but it's just a black rim, so that's fine. He still needs to dry a little bit down there, but that's him pretty much done. Kingpin as Santa. From yesterday, we got the basing finished on my leader, or one of my leaders, for Parabellum's Conquest, along with the Giant, who is coming on quite nicely. He's still got some bits and pieces left to do on him. The base is practically done. Just needs the snow effects. It just needs to dry a little bit as well. The tree, some dry brushing, and he's ready to go. I said that needs a dry brush, and he'll be ready to do battle. So quite pleased with what I've got done. I could actually do the dry brush because I've got the dry brush and everything out. Where did I put that? So long beard grey. I need to remember to get some of that from beanies. I'm just doing the brickwork or the castle wall he's using as a shoulder pad. There we go. I could use a warmer one, so so Sliverneth bark, which actually looks to be quite wet, so cool, it's still alive. So Sliverneth bark to do bits of the tree. It's Sliverneth bark for the wood. It's a dry brush paint by GW. Sorry, but it's a bit lighter than it should be because I've kept the Longbeard grey on from the last dry brush, so it lightens it up when you scrub it a bit. There we go. Get that out of the way. So you can see how the wood's going. So it was just one of the flat browns by Vallejo, and then I did the Nullin wash over it to get it quite dark, and then obviously the Sliverneth. So the underside I've kept quite dark, but the top I've kept it where you can actually see it. Probably the sun will hit it a lot more. I've used a bit more. Now you get the wood. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect for how I want it anyway. And then the shoulder. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to see the shoulder that clearly. Oops. There we go, look at that. So that's how the shoulder's gone. That's how the wood. Again, if you want to go a bit lighter, you would just put a dab of Longbeard grey into the. So I've got a mixing pad here. So that's where I put the Longbeard grey was there, and then just like a blusher pad is I've mixed in a bit of the long beard grey on the brush into that bit, and it'll just give a couple of bits. And you want, this is just for the edges of edge, and then it gives it a bit more of a, like on all of the top bits, it just gives a little bit more brightness to those bits. And that's it. There is rust effect. That's not the rust effect. Like, did I put the rust effect away? I think I did. No, the models, the minis, people call it different things. I'm going to use the light rust. So this is an example of what we were on about earlier, the model wash. It's rust, but there's 5 or 6 versions of the rust. Yeah, it can get quite scary when you're looking at all the different versions of what's technically the same colour. So I'm just going to quickly, before we run out of time, well, we don't run out of time, before I run over time. So number 2, after that, so number 3, so that's the one for this. So I'm just going to do rust on. Now if you put it on quite thick, it will pool. I'll try not to get it on his hand. So I say these are the only bits that I wanted to make look that they're from this plane sort of thing. The rest of it I wanted his clothes, him, all of the other bits I wanted to look ethereal. Ethereal. Yeah, that's the sort of word. So like when I did the Jarl, oh, that was the other thing. These are all metal as well, so they're all going to get a rust wash. So yeah, with the Jarl, his spear, his horn and his backpack all got the real colour sort of thing, the metal treatment and that sort of stuff. And obviously the stuff that he stood on. I want to make that the thing of the theme running through. So he's the ghost, but he's got a big tree that he's picked up on the way past, and a bit of castle to have a shoulder, and a shackle where someone from this plane has tried to shackle him, but the rest, the ropes that hold his clothes together and all that sort of stuff, are ghost-like. So, and that kind of thing. And that's still a little bit damp to do anything on. Go back to that. There we go. That's it. That's him ready to. Yeah, I'm well thankful for Snowy for actually working that out with us. I still have the wee ghosty ear that we tested it on. So he's sat there. He's my test subject. He is my first actual troop choice to do it on. And if you look, he's got the metal weapons as well. So they're all quite a happy little family now. And I've got 6 boxes more to start on with them. So there's going to be plenty to do. And each box has a tray, has 3 trays like that full of them. how many figures? I think 6 boxes of 12, 60, another giant, 61, and another 3 characters, 61, 62, 63, 64-ish. But I've also got some boxes from last time. But yeah, about 70-ish. But yeah, I'm enjoying the paint scheme. I'm enjoying the idea for the basing. It's all just come together really nicely. I am happy and impressed. And again, it's one of these weird things. It's for me. This is my army that I'm doing. Parabellum actually gave us a load of stuff to start this, so it's a big thank you to Parabellum. And we've been getting help and advice from, Snowy's been getting advice and help and passing it through to us from their rep Russell, so that is greatly appreciated. And hopefully, once this horrible, it's The Last Argument of Kings by Parabellum. It's a fantasy based, there's 4 armies at the moment. There's an orc army due out, but there's the Vikings, which are called the Nords, which I've got. Snowy's got the Dugan, which are dwarf dragon hunters. Dale has basically the men, which are like Imperial knights and stuff like that. And Foxy has the Spires, which are like alien LV type evil things. Look cool. Think you got the did you get the spy? You might have got one of the sets. In fact, I know you got one of the sets. I'm guessing you got the Spires. The orcs do look good as well, Ash. If it was something that you were thinking of getting, they're due out. We've seen pictures of them. We haven't actually seen them yet. So I've prattled on for far too long. I will call that a night. So thank you everyone again as usual for being on board tonight. It's been great having you here. Thank you everyone for donating and subbing and joining us on that sort of thing. We'll start the next giveaway next Wednesday and see what we can pick up to do that. It's been a good month this month, so because of all the nice donations, I've got some pennies to be able to spend on some better giveaways. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. As usual, stay safe. Catch us all soon.